Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and a few days ago I posted an updated mouse tier list, and it seems that whenever I post a tier list, there are a few ratings that just shake people that use the mouse the wrong way. In this case, the MM711, by far. It might have even been like Cooler Master bots, I don't know. There were a lot of people saying that this mouse was better than I gave it credit for. I found that weird because I had tried 3 copies, one of the limited edition ones in the past, but hey, I got this. I think it's called the Wilderness Edition. It's only $45, and you can find the other versions for as low as $30, which is kind of insane. So I just figured I would give the mouse another try. Maybe it is better. Maybe there actually has been some updates. And the first thing I noticed that indicated this to me was the mouse feet. These edges, I'm not sure how well it's going to focus, but they're all properly rounded. The feet are tapered. They're relatively thick PTFE, and they just glide really well. I know that on the original MM710, the feet just were not rounded, and the gliding experience wasn't as good. So now that's a pretty big improvement. The sidewalls, if I squeeze it, I can get the side button to activate, but in real use, I don't have any problems with it yet, which shocks me. I'm sure over time it will start to get creaky, especially like down here, but I don't know. It hasn't happened yet. My clicks, unfortunately, I already do have an issue with the right click. I knew it was too good to be true, but it's not unusable yet. It just kind of lost all of its tactility, and it has so much post travel that sometimes I'll like click down, I'll try to click it again, but the click hasn't rebounded back up. So it's just a weird experience where I don't actually get to click. It's a pretty minor issue, and I think everybody who's buying an MM711 accepts that you're not getting top tier click design, and at best these are just average Omron 20Ms, but hey, they work in game. The response does not seem bad. I did turn it down in the software, and that made a pretty big difference. So you gotta get that Cooler Master bloatware on your PC, man. Really, just don't expect long-term durability and like quality click feeling. Think of this as more of a disposable mouse. It's cheap as fuck. It's solid. Like the sensor it's using, 3389, no issues with that. I mentioned the mouse feet are good. The weight of it, even with this RGB diffuser, is 62 grams, which is very light. You have to give it credit. I know like standards have gotten a bit lighter, but this mouse was made a while ago, and it's pretty easy to mod to take the RGB out. Then it's like fucking 53 or something, whatever the MM710 is. But let's be honest, this RGB looks amazing. This mouse is $40, Starlight 12, minimum 190. Wow, no RGB, it's a shame. Another drawback of this mouse is, of course, the cable. Just a wired mouse. I did a poll on my YouTube a few weeks ago. 35% of people who voted just straight up don't consider wired mice anymore. So I guess like rip the views on this video. But the cable on it isn't great. I don't think it's been updated at all. It has a bit of shielding, so it probably follows regulations. It's decently flexible, but it's like you know that there's a wire there when you're moving it around compared to some better cables where you don't. But as I mentioned before, these mouse feet were really good. They played fast on every surface. I tested tons. The sensor position is a bit low. I did have to raise the LOD in the software. But then, I mean, the mouse just felt right for me. There wasn't a huge performance difference compared to a lot of other mice that are a lot more expensive than it. The shape could be very nice for you, and there's not many other mice that directly compete with it. Something that I'm sure lots of people are going to ask is like Viper Mini or MM711, and the MM711 definitely feels larger because it's short and wide. And if you're fine with having it wide and tall at the back, like you want a tall round hump, then I think you should go with the MM711. If you're looking for a budget fingertip mouse, I would go Viper Mini over MM711. I've probably made a video comparing these mice like a year and a half ago, so just check that out if it exists. So I'll admit that after using this updated Wilderness Limited Edition MM711, that it seems like something actually has changed. Definitely not with the click design. I just can't imagine somebody like hammering these in Fortnite for months. They somehow don't deteriorate and feeling when mine have already in like 2 or 3 days of use. But the mouse feet do seem to be updated. I'm not going to give this mouse an enthusiastic recommendation or anything, but if you're looking for something cheap, I know that mice being on Amazon is just a huge advantage. Being able to get it in one day, not dealing with a huge shipping price. Like, I would recommend this over glorious mice at this point, and I was so taken aback that, is that even a phrase, that I'll put this in the B tier. It gets updated to the B tier. It goes one tier up. And it's not an A tier because, like, A tier has Vaxy mice in it, and this is just not on that level. It's just a slightly worse Hot ES, I would say, but it's cheaper, a bit more budget-friendly, and readily available. And that's gonna be all for this video. MM711, slightly better than it was before, or so it seems so far. Like and sub if you enjoyed this video, and Starlight 12 review coming very soon, the medium edition. Fuck, this mouse isn't turned on.